Hey everybody, it's me Stacy here at Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com, and this is our next Saturday with Stacy YouTube class number 469. Welcome! Welcome to all of you who are new to our channel. Welcome to all of you who have been with us for forever. I hope that during this class you learn something new or something inspires you, and I'm so excited. We have a new manufacturer here at Scrapbooking Made Simple, and you know me, I am picky about what products we bring in and what manufacturers we bring in. We do not carry everybody. Oh no. You have to have something special. The company has to be special to find its way here at Scrapbooking Made Simple, and I'm excited. I'm excited to have this company. It's Jacquard. And there is a story behind it because I have wanted to do business with this company for ages and ages, but I will get to that in a moment. So today I've got new Simply Defined layering stencils, my kaleidoscope layering stencils. We've got the product from Jacquard. I have Winter Chicken Dinner to talk about, and just an update on our warehouse sale. As I said last week, we're on the downward slide on day one. Day one encompasses 80% of the orders. So it's like, how can you still be on day one? Well, when 80% of the orders are on that first day, it takes us the longest. We are gonna try to have everything wrapped up by the end of October. That's our goal, to have everything shipped out. And at that point, once we do, whether it be a little sooner than that or a little later than that, we will announce the next warehouse sale, and it will be in 2022. So I'm hoping, if you don't know, if you're on day one, which was April 22nd, you will know that your order has been started once it changes from payment received to awaiting fulfillment. You will get an email that says your order status has changed to awaiting fulfillment. And then once it's picked and quality controlled, you'll get another email that says your order status has changed. It's now awaiting shipping. And the last email you will get from us is your order has shipped. Here is your tracking number. So keep an eye out if you are day one. We are absolutely getting down to the bottom few. Maybe the last 500 on day one is where we're at. I want to say maybe the last 500 on day one. And then we move to day two, which is dramatically less quantity of orders. So I'm hoping we're able to push through that much quicker. And then the rest of the days are substantially smaller. I think we're going to be able to do day 3, day 4, and day 5 all at once. So hang tight, keep an eye on your email. If you haven't paid for your order yet, please, if you're day one, either keep an eye out for that PayPal payment or call us at the shop to make payment. We are not giving you an extended time to pay for this. You've got 3 days. That's what you have, a normal 3-day time frame to get the order paid for, because you've had since April. All right, so I'm gonna do Winter Chicken Dinner, and then I'm gonna talk to you a little bit about Jacquard and Asher. Yeah, Asher. Hello, Asher. I mean, I don't know if he's like 6'5" or something like that, but let me do my Winter Chicken Dinner for you and announce the two lovely, oh, not only can I pronounce both names, I know both names. I'm the Winter Chicken Dinner here today for sure. Okay, so these two lovely ladies have won a $25 gift card to Scrapbooking Made Simple. It is already in your online account. You don't have to do anything to claim your prize. Just go spend it. And gosh, you may want to pick up some of this new Jacquard product, because it's like smoking hot good. And the pricing. But I'll get to that. Okay, our first winner is Jane. Hello, Jane. Jane Tapp with 2 P's. Hello, Jane Tapp with 2 P's. Is that you? Congratulations. If it is, you are a Winter Chicken Dinner. Wahoo kachoo. Again, a $25 gift card in your online account. Ready for you right now. What you gonna buy? What you gonna buy? have fun. But you are not our only winner, Jane. Our second winner is Mary Wagner. Hello, Mary Wagner. How are you doing today? Wahoo Kachoo. Are you jumping for joy? Are you woot 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 woot? Are you like, what am I gonna spend it on? I think it takes people, it's funny, when you are spending a gift card or you know, an online winnings or whatever, it takes people a whole lot longer to decide what they want with their free money than it does with their own. It's like, I don't know. It's like they look and they look and they look and they have to ponder and think and So, Mary and Jane, congratulations to the both of you. I'm very excited for the both of you, and I hope that you pick something that makes your heart happy. Absolutely. You've got $25 to spend, compliments of Scrapbooking Made Simple, and we're excited to give you something that's going to just take your crafties, cards or scrapbooks or mixed media layouts, whatever you do, to the next level. Wahoo Kachoo. All right, are you ready to do the winner, winner, chicken dinner dance? Yes. You're a winner, chicken dinner. You're a winner, chicken dinner. Wahoo Kachoo for you. Congratulations to the both of you. And to the lovely couple who was here from Georgia yesterday. I didn't get to say goodbye. I went out to say goodbye. I didn't know you left. Hello. We had a lovely couple, husband and wife, who were here in from Georgia and visiting family, and then they were off to Texas, and I'm like, I went back out to say goodbye, and I'm like, they're gone. So goodbye. All right, now let me talk to you a little bit about what we've got going on today, and Jacquard, kind of important. So a couple of years ago, and Asher's going to be like, oh my God, is she really telling this story? Well, yes, actually I am. A couple of years ago, several years ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I saw Pearl X and I really loved it. I really loved it and I wanted it. But it was, you know, the distributor that had it, a distributor that had it only had like 6s and 8s of any one color. And I'm like, I can't do anything with 6s or 8s of any one color, please. I mean, that's not even enough to put in the retail store sometimes if people get excited about it. So I wrote this lovely email to Jacquard and asked them, listen, this is who I am. You don't know me, but I'm a store and I have a little online store and we do YouTubes, and can you please contact me? I'd love to open an account with you. And I get this email back saying, well, we would really prefer that you go through a distributor. And a lot of companies prefer you buy through a distributor. It's easy for them. They are able to ship quantities to the distributor, and then the distributor has to send it to all the little stores like us. I get that. I understand that. But sometimes if the distributor only brings in 6 of any one color, it's like kind of hard when you're only bringing in 6 and that's supposed to support the whole United States independent retailers of scrapbooking stores. But this company, Jacquard, was more known for their fine art, the products. So not necessarily seen, like when Creativation was just Creativation, I don't think Jacquard was there, to be honest with you, but they went to NAPTA, which is the fine art show. So anyway, I sent my email and I got an email back and it said, hey, we'd really, love to do business with you, but we really prefer you go through a distributor. And I wrote back, love to go through a distributor. The only problem is they don't carry enough product. I'd like to order more than 6. And, and so emails went back and forth for a little while, and I could tell that they really didn't want to do business with me, because then he said, well, the pricing that we're going to be able to give to you is, just a very small discount off of retail. I'm like, we're a retail store. We're supposed to be able to buy it wholesale. Wait a minute, what? So I emailed him back and I'm like, wait, what? And that was kind of their way. So I called a couple of my friends who are in the art business, the fine art, they have fine art stores. And I said, listen, I'm getting this really weird email saying that, my discount's going to be like what I give to my customers. like 20% off retail. That's what I give to you when we do a YouTube. And they said, oh, Stacy, that's their way of kind of sending you along, like, go along, like, move along. Like, aren't you sweet? But no. I'm like, oh, okay. So I put it aside and I didn't think anything of it, and I let it go, and I found other things. It just encouraged me to go out and look for other things. So NAPTA, the art materials trade show, and Creativation trade show merge last year. So now it's all one. So now you've got fine art people and craft people and paper crafting people all together under one roof, under one umbrella. Never been done before. And so now all of these art manufacturers of paints and inks and canvases and brushes and all of these yummy things had our emails, the Creativation people. So I get this email from a guy named Asher from Jacquard, and he's like, hey, Stacy, I've kind of seen what you do. I would really love to talk to you about doing business. And I'm like, wait a minute. So I am like Johnny on the spot, because that is how I am. And I save basically everything. And so I quickly answer him back, and I'm like, that's funny. Because I have this email from this person. Does he still work for you? And he's like, yeah, he still works for us. And I'm like, here, let me send you the email thread and you tell me what you think. And I sent him the whole thread, kind of like sending us along, like, yeah, no, not really. We really, you know, if we have to sell to you, if you insist on buying directly through us, we're going to sell it to you for the same price. I mean, gosh, I could go on Dick Blick and probably do better for the pricing he was giving me. So I sent Asher this entire email thread of everything that went back and forth from a few years ago, waiting. And I'm like at my desk going, I don't know if you can hear me, but I'm tapping my fingers like, now what you gonna say to this, right? So he emails back, could we talk? And I'm like, of course we can talk. Like on the phone? Like, yeah, sure. Phones still work. So we talked, he calls me and he's like, yeah, no, I don't know what this is. Can we just forget all that this ever happened? Can we not pay attention to any of those emails? Can we have a mulligan? Can we have a do-over? And I'm like, well, okay, so I'm like, inside I'm like, ooh, 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 ooh. Oh yeah. But on the outside, I'm like, oh, well, you know, it really hurt my feelings, but I suppose we can put that aside. But inside, I'm like, stay calm. So we set an appointment, and I've never met Asher. Have no idea who he is. I finally understood that he's the owner of the company. Okay, finally got that one. Hello, ding, ding, ding. So we set an appointment to meet at NAPTA this past year in Florida. And I go to, it's my turn for my appointment. You know, it's, I don't know, Sunday morning or whatever. And I walk up to their booth, and there's this guy. I don't know if he's 6'4", I don't know, but I'm like, hello, is Asher here? And he's like, oh, I'm Asher. And I'm like, hi, I'm Stacy. And he's like, I know. So then he walked me through his booth, and he's like mad scientist kind of, in a fine art kind of way. You know, we have Fred over at Aladdin. I think Fred and Asher would like be best friends if they met each other, because Fred over at Aladdin, he's this chemist kind of guy, and Asher, he's just so creative, and he is so excited about his products. Every time he showed me something different from Jacquard, it was like a kid in a candy store, or a kid showing off his brand new, his picture that he drew in kindergarten to his mom. But he was like that every single product. It was like, okay, we finished talking about marbling, and he was like, oh, marbling, wait till you see. And then we moved over to Pearl-Ex, and he's like, oh, Pearl-Ex, wait till you see. He was like holding up that picture every time to his mom saying, looky what I did, what I've got. And it was like that for every single product he had. So he totally captivated me because I can be that passionate about the products that we bring. I am that passionate about the products that we bring in. Totally. And when a manufacturer, sometimes they can be a little blasé about what they do. They can be, yeah. But he was like, and wait, there's more. And I'm like, I say that. So does the guy who sells pillows on TV, but that's okay, no judgment. So he sent me sample. Well, so he said, I'm gonna send you samples when we get home. I'm gonna send you samples of everything. I'm like, ooh, samples, I like that. And I waited and I didn't get anything. So he reached out to me and he's like, so how's everything going? I'm like, everything's great. Did you ever send those samples? And he's like, I don't know. Let me look. Now that's probably the creative genius in there. You know, they get all wrapped up in formulas and what they're going to bring out and how to mix things together and how to make amazing product, that he totally forgot to send the samples. So then I got the samples and I'm like, And this week I called him and I said, I have a place for your Pearl-Ex in a YouTube. You didn't send me enough samples, but that's okay. I'm going to make it work. But I want to use Pearl-Ex in your YouTube, or in this YouTube, because I think there's a reason for them. And I think people need to understand the difference between Pearl-Ex and some of the other mica powders. It's important. There is a difference. And he's like, oh yeah, that would be great. We would love it if you did that. Can you also tell them that we make everything locally, because they're here in California, and we use products that are, sustainable products, so it's good for the environment, and he just kept rolling off of all the things, and I'm like, okay. I will try to get all of that out, Asher. It's made locally. They do it right here in California, which means they can make as much as I want. And it's made from products that sustainable products, so that it's good for the environment, it's good for the earth. Yay! And then the pricing. Okay, are you ready? Remember when I brought in Brushos, and love Brushos, and they're that mica powder that when you spritz it, it bursts. And other manufacturers have things that burst like that. I know Ken Oliver did like a color burst, and there's a few other pixie powders and things like that. But Brushos were highly pigmented. You got more for your money because they came from the fine art world. It's like, wait a minute. So I'm getting a better product and it's cheaper because it's sold in the fine art world as opposed to the paper crafting world. It doesn't have scrapbooking or card making on it. So, and that was true for Brushos. That's also true here for Pearl-Ex. So the Pearl-Ex powders, I'm going to show you. They are highly pigmented. And the price is less. Now we carry Aussie Andrews micas and Creative Expressions micas, and there is nothing wrong with their micas. Absolutely, they're mica powders. Pearl-Ex is different. It is a different powder. Do they do the same type of thing? Yes. Do they kind of look the same when you're using them? Yes. Are they packaged kind of similar? Yes. Is what's in the little pot the same? No. Close, but not the same. And I want to tell you what that is. So when you're using your Perfect Pearls from Ranger, and we don't carry Ranger product, we want to support companies that support independent retailers like Jacquard or Creative Expressions or Couture Creations. So we go out and we actively seek companies that really get behind the independent retailer. And so when you get those pots, whether it be Perfect Pearl or mica from Couture Creations or Creative Expressions. It's mica in there, but the binder, there's a binder that is built into that powder. And that binder is important. That's what helps it stick to the paper. So yes, we're working with powders. Yes. And like I said, that Perfect Pearl or that Couture Creations or that Creative Expressions, it's powder in here, beautiful pigmented powder, already mixed with a binder. And that binder is like the glue. So I know a lot of people will tell you to stamp with Versamark and then put your Perfect Pearl or your Couture Creations over the Versamark and it sticks beautifully, and then you mist it with a little bit of water. It's that water that takes that binder from being a powder, it wets it, so then it becomes more like a glue. When we use Aussie Andrews micas or Creative Expressions micas, we don't use a Versamark. We use a glue pad, and that way you don't need to mist it. We're doing the binding at the same time as we're using the product. Now that's completely different than what is in a jar of Pearl-Ex. Pearl-Ex is 100% pigment. There is no binder in here at all. That means if I were to stamp with my Versamark and put my Pearl-Ex down and mist it with water, kind of like what you would do with a Perfect Pearl, it would still wipe away because there's nothing in there to cement that into the paper. Pearl-Ex gives you 100% mica. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. So then how do you get that mica to stay? Well, I'm going to show you that. There's a few things. We have gum arabic that comes with it that we're going to sell, but I have a whole different way of maybe getting this down that you might not have thought of before. So you don't have to buy Pearl-Ex. I'm not here to sell you Pearl-Ex. And Asher's like, hey, wait, what? No, I'm here to show you how to use Pearl-Ex. But if you already have, and yes, of course, we're going to have it for sale, absolutely. But if you already have Perfect Pearls or Creative Expressions mica or Aussie Andrews mica. See, Aussie Andrew only has 11 colors. I wanted more than 11 colors. And Creative Expressions, they don't keep a large stock of it. So it's not something that I can ever really use on a regular basis because they don't keep a large stock of it on hand. But, well, gosh, Asher, this is what he does, and he manufactures it, a couple hours up the road from us, maybe 6-7 hours up the road from us, and he does it right here, and he'll make as much as I want, and his is 100% pigment, and it's priced less than the others. So I usually don't bring in new product when I've got something that is already similar to it, but I've always said if there's a reason to do it, I will. And when I can bring you something that's a little bit better quality, a little bit less expensive, and we will continue to carry Aussie Andrews micas and Creative Expressions micas, but now you have a third choice. So I'm going to tilt down. I'm going to use Pearl-Ex, and I'm going to use it in a way that is typical, and then we're going to move into ways that are not. So I know this was a really long intro and that I'm just now getting ready to tilt on down and start today, but I think it's important that one, I do what I say I'm going to do. We don't just bring in product for the sake of being product. There had to be something unique about these Pearl-Ex powders for me to bring them in. Otherwise, I already have Aussie Andrews and Creative Expressions, but those are with the binders built into them, already mixed into them, already predetermined for you. What if you could have 100% pigment and you decide how much of a binder you want in it? Is it hard? Nope. It's pretty amazing. And we're starting with 36 colors. I think he has 60 colors of Pearl-Ex. And yep, we'll go into all 60 colors at some point. They're beautiful. So I'm going to tilt down. I'm going to get started for today. If you're still with me, thank you for staying with me. Asher. Asher, thank you. I called you this past week. I said I have a spot for it. Your team has been amazing. You have been amazing. It was a bumpy start to begin with, but those bumpy starts usually lead to the best partnerships, and we are thrilled to have the Pearl-Ex in, and so much more coming from you. I already told you there's another product, is it Luminaire or whatever, that I'm in love with. So thank you for reaching out when you did. Thank you for not looking at my email back with that whole thread of why you're not going to do business with me, and saying, oh, well, never mind. And just saying, hey, can we talk? Because you are amazing. Amazing. So I think that's what we might call you. Or should we call, Amazing Asher. Ooh, maybe because they were just rock stars this week. Amazing. Your team is fabulous. All right, I'm going to tilt down. I'm going to get started for today. And yes, Asher, I did tell the story. But it had a happy ending. All right, so down we go. Are you ready? I'm going to show you some samples and then we're going to get working. He's like, oh my gosh. I just don't even know what to do with this lady. He was so excited. All right, let me show you some samples. So here we go, sample 1. Now this is a new Simply Defined Kaleidoscope stencil. It's a layering stencil, exclusive to us because, well, Simply Defined are mine. So we go from here to here. Same stencil. Look at the difference. I mean, that's a dramatic difference in look, right? Put the two side by side. Definitely guy. Not guy. Oh, I guess it could be. So that's our first stencil that we're gonna have for you. And then this one I went a little crazy on. I went a little bit out on a limb. And you're either gonna love it or you're not. And then the sentiments go with this stencil. So I have an exclusive Verses stamp set that goes with this stencil. And here it is. And then you can take it up another level and there. So I just thought that I've always wanted to do a staircase, and I thought, okay, well, let's give it a whirl because it can be just about anything. You can have it for a wedding. I mean, there's just so many uses for it. The metaphor of walking up the stairs and trying, or having a bride come down the stairs, or it's just, anyway, we'll see. You're gonna love it or you're not. All right, I'm gonna start super simple. And I have got my Verses stamps. These are exclusive to Scrapbooking Made Simple. And they are meant to go. I bring them out. I bring one set out every time I do a new release of Simply Defined layering stencils. And that's every other month. This set says, you don't have to see the whole staircase. Just take the first step. And that's Martin Luther King. And then take small steps each day. You may not get there today, but you'll be closer than yesterday. The next one says, step by step and stair by stair, be patient and believe, before long you'll be there. And the last one is, in every journey begins with a single step. So you can kind of see why the staircase, the sentiments and the staircase, right? Okay, so I'm gonna start with these, and we're gonna use Pearl-Ex. We're gonna use Pearl-Ex in a way that is typical, what you would expect, but I have to assume that not everybody has seen a Perfect Pearl or Ozzy Andrews micas or Creative Expressions micas or a Pearl-Ex. So this is a little jar. We are going to be selling the little jars in sets. We're going to start with sets and not open stock. And the reason why we're not going to do open stock is because I want these orders to expedite out. After the YouTube is over, then we'll list all the open stock, and that way if you want to buy just 1 or 2 jars, you can. But for us to be able to expedite this out, to pull 36 individual little jars for every order downstairs Claire, SMS girl Claire, SMS girl Renee, SMS guy James, and SMS guy Michael may revolt. I may have a mutiny on my hands. Okay, so in the jar, and let me tell you, a little jar goes a long way. There's this mica. Now, it doesn't look like this once you start using it. It's dramatically different. And I'm gonna have 5 different sets for you. The set that I'm using, or no, 4 different sets for you. The set I'm using today, I had to actually empty it out. The product that comes in here is what's on my table. This is the calligraphy set. It's the metallic calligraphy set. Now, we're not going to use it for calligraphy at all, but I understand that lots of people use Pearl-Ex to do calligraphy with because it has so much pigment in it, because it is so strong, and because there is no binder in it, they are able to get it to the viscosity, the thickness, the flow that they want to. So I'm going to use this very typically, and I think we will take a sentiment. I love these stamps. I do. These are made so beautifully. All right, so I'm sticking it on a block, and this is just a clear block. Clear block set. Once you own it, then you own it. It's good forever. This one is by Couture Creations. It gives you, 5 blocks and a little cozy cushion to keep everything in. You don't replace these. You can wipe them down and use them again and again and again. Mine are inked up. You can see that. And if for some reason a clear stamp or a cling stamp, it stops sticking to it, you just have to take a baby wipe and wipe it on down, or some Dawn dishwashing detergent, let everything dry, and then it will cling to it again. So a clear stamp like this is meant to be used again and again and again, and it just clings just like that. On and off. It's not sticky on the back. It does it by static. There you go. Just clings right to it. Easy peasy. So I'm going to grab some black paper, I think, to start with. You're like, wow, you're half an hour in, I bet, and you haven't even started anything. I know, but you have to understand the whole purpose behind things. We don't carry everybody. Some people wish we would, but then really, okay, so I know you're like, you're just about to start, but okay. So, if we carried every manufacturer out there, and you said, Stacy, you used watercolor pencils last week from this manufacturer, and then 3 weeks later you used watercolor pencils from another manufacturer, and then a month later you used watercolor pencils from a third manufacturer. Well, which one do you really like the best? I have to be honest. If we carried everything from everybody and you asked me which is my favorite, well, you can't be, you not everything can be your favorite. So we carry my favorite. So when you buy Brazil pencils, I know Brazil pencils are amazing. We gave up, we will give up product if it's not doing what it should be doing, or if there's got to be a reason to have it. And you can't say every colored pencil is your most favorite colored pencil just because you carry all of them. Now, I know that means that we lose business, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. But when I love something, that's the one I want to carry. That's the one. We gave up Copic because the price got so high. Copics got so expensive, and we didn't bring alcohol markers in. We didn't have them for years until Ozzy Andrew came out with his alcohol markers, and they were phenomenal and at $1.99. So just know, we don't carry everybody. There's a reason why we don't. It's not because I don't want to have more sales. It's because if you ask me what's my favorite, or why am I carrying 4 different colored pencils, I need to be honest with you. So these are a little different. They're different than the Perfect Pearl, which we don't carry, the Ozzy Andrews micas, and the Creative Expressions micas. If you have those micas, you're going to be able to do everything that I'm doing today. These just give you another opportunity to do a little more. All right, so I've got my stamp right here. Good to go, right? And now a lot of manufacturers, oh, I didn't get a gush pad. Holy smokes, artichokes. I don't have a gush pad down here. Yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. And I don't see one. Okay, that's not, oh, I see one. I'll be right back. You're like, are you kidding me right now? No, I'm not kidding you right now. Yikes, 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 gush pad. Okay, see, that wasn't even more than a half a second, was it? Who was counting? Ta-da, gush pad. Okay, so most people, when they're using a mica, are going to want to use a Versamark or an embossing medium. And that's because the mica that they're using has a binder built into it, and then they're going to mist it with some water to keep that mica from wiping off. Nothing's worse than doing something and then you come back and you can literally wipe it off in your hands. That's awful. So when we use Aussie Andrews or Creative Expressions, we don't use a Versamark. We use a glue pad, an Essentials glue pad. And the reason we do this is because this is a binder all unto itself. I don't have to mist it with water when it's done. A binder is some form of a glue that's going to hold it to the paper and cement it to the paper. And because those micas have a binder mixed in, when you mist it, it gets that perfect pearl, it gets that mica wet, and it takes that powdered binder that's mixed into them and makes it into more of a glue. But his doesn't have any binder. So we're going to use our glue pad, and just like we do with the others, because now I'm giving it a binder. I don't have to worry about it having a binder. And I'm going to take my little glue bottle and I'm going to put on just enough glue for what I'm doing today, or for what I'm doing right now. So when you get this Essentials glue pad, the pad comes dry. It was so funny. Keeper of the secret sauce, Kevin, and ta-da, it's Taylor from Sizzix. We're here, and I was showing them this glue pad because I was working with it, and they're like, yeah, that didn't work for us. You know, we tried using that glue pad on some stuff we were making, and it just didn't work. And I'm like, it didn't work. It always works. And they're saying, I said, did you take the glue bottle and put all of it on there at one time and then come back and try and make it work? And they're like, well, yeah, isn't that what you do? Isn't this a re-inker? And Kevin's looking at me like, yes, that's what we did. And ta-da, it's Taylor's like, yeah, I don't know why it didn't work. Or maybe it was Jen. Maybe it was Jen Long. And I'm like, no, silly, you only put as much on. I literally took it out and showed him how to use it and then gave him one to go home with. I'm like, no. You only put on as much as you need for the application that you're doing. So I'm going to stamp this. 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, and pull up. And you can see the watermark there. That's glue. That is not Versamark. This is not a Versamark product. I know lots of people who want you to use Versamark with your mica powders. It doesn't matter whose mica powders you have. If you use an Essentials glue pad, you are not going to have to spritz it with water. You're done. You're good. Ready to go. Let's do another one. Can I get it here? 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, and up. So my gush pad that I'm using is just a dense foam. We don't sell them anymore. We're sold out and I can't get them remanufactured. So it's just a nice dense foam. You don't want something that's too squishy and you don't want something that's too hard. A mouse pad isn't going to happen. It's not enough. And what this does is when I push down, because the foam has got some give to it, it allows the paper to sink into the foam a little bit and the stamp to make a better contact with my paper. Ready? 1, 2, 3, A, B, C. Are you ready? And up. Okay, so I've got it there. So now I am using the Jacquard Pearl X just as I would any other mica. And instead of using a Versamark or an embossing medium, I am using an Essentials glue pad. And when you order it, it comes like this. Do not take all that glue and dump it into your glue pad. You only use as much glue as you need for the application that you're doing. And when you've run out of glue, you just buy a new glue bottle. You don't buy the whole set over again. No. I mean, look at my glue pad. It looks like a hot mess. But I just keep using it over and over again, and it comes with a little hat, a little lid that helps keep it airtight, and bam. Now the thing about this glue pad is that it needs to go tacky. That's really, really important. It is considered a two-way glue. So you don't want to use it just the minute you stamp with it. And I could have stamped any kind of image with it. It needs to go tacky. So whether you blow on it, you waft it for a little bit, you can leave it alone for, gosh, a half an hour. You could go answer the phone. You could make yourself a new cup of coffee, take the dogs out or your fur babies outside for a few minutes, as long as hey, the ground's not too hot. But it does need to go tacky. You want to give it time for that glue not to be so wet, but not so dry that it won't hold the powder. So I'm gonna hopefully I think we'll give it a try. Let's see what happens. What's the worst? It doesn't work, and then you see why it doesn't work if I didn't leave it long enough. So I'm gonna take a nice dry brush, just a dry brush, and a little bit of my powder. And this is what it looks like in, but let's put a little bit on. Now I just kind of tap it down just a little bit. And a little goes a long way. And then I just kind of tap, tap, tap. And anywhere there's glue, which is now acting as my binder, you're going to see my words are starting to come up. The glue is acting as a binder. I know that there's no binder in here. This is 100% pigment. So that looks pretty good. A little goes a long way. That's why the little pots are going to last you quite some time. Okay. So I've got it all over. Now I take one of my $2 elf brushes. I went to the store the other day and saw that these used to be $1. Now they're $2. And you give a brush. And then you've got your sentiment. Let's do another color. I don't think I waited long enough for it to go tacky. No, maybe I did. No, it looks pretty good. Okay, let's use another color, just so you can see a couple colors. Let's see the blue. I'm just gonna drizzle some on there and then kind of take it. And this is how you would use anybody's mica. So you can see my blue is on there. You can see my words are coming up. And then clean it off. Beautiful, right? But then I could take a little bit of this one. And then a little bit of this one. And kind of combine them. I'm gonna use this one, kind of get it. Now kind of combine them. So this is a typical way of using a mica powder. The difference is most people are going to say use a Versamark. And if I had, I would now have to spritz this with water to set it. But because I used a glue, because I used a glue, I don't have to use the water to set it. The glue acted as the binder. So if you've got Couture Creations micas or Creative Expressions micas or Rangers micas, the binder is already built in. You're not going to see it. It's mixed into the powder. And if you put it down with a Versamark, it's going to stay. It's going to hold just like this. It's going to look just like this. But if you do not mist it, it's going to wipe right off. So I'm like, why bother with that? If you can get the same look with a glue pad and you don't have to mist it afterwards and it doesn't move, it doesn't come off, well, that's saving you one step as far as I'm concerned. So this is a pretty typical way of how to use the powders. I'm going to use them a little atypical. And to do that, I need to pull out one of my stencils, and we're going to start with one of my stencils. Well, I suppose I could show you how the gum arabic works. Okay, so what's gum arabic? Let me do that. What's gum arabic? This is a white powder. This is what, when you get your Perfect Pearls or your Aussie Andrews or Creative Expressions, this white powder or a similar white powder has already been blended into the pot that you have. This is a binder, okay? It's a powdered glue for all intents and purposes. So if I wanted to mix a little bit of this into some water with a little bit of this, or mix two of these together, I could, and that would bind it, that would add the binder. Would I have to get it wet? Yes, I would have to get it wet because, of course, once I mix these two, it's kind of like having that Aussie Andrew or Creative Expressions mica. This right now is 100% pure pigment. I have to add a binder to it. Let's say you wanted to make a mist. You know what? I'm going to do that. Let's say I wanted to make just a simple paint, and I get a little bit of water in there, just a little bit of water, and I add a little bit of my gum arabic, playing a little mad scientist here, and then I can mix that together. And for all intents and purposes, I'm making a glue. Now this is where having the 100% pigment is kind of nice, because you can decide how thick you want your paste to be. Do I want it super thick because I'm going to do something with it that I don't want it to run, or do I want to make it a mist? It's all about how much gum arabic you use and how much water you use. And there's no right and there's no wrong. Now I take a little bit of my powder, just a little bit, and I can go in there and mix it. And that gum arabic is going to just disappear. It's a transparent product. And now I could paint. Let's see, let's get a piece of paper. And because I added the water, it activated the gum arabic to now be a binder. And I can pick it up. And it's very pasty. and I can paint with it. And it's going to have a beautiful gloss finish. It's really going to have a pretty finish because that gum arabic has a beautiful gloss finish. Now I can thin it, add a little water, continue to mix, and now I've thinned it. And I can thin it. Add a little bit of water. And the more water I add, the more paint-like it becomes. And the more translucent it becomes on my paper. So it's really starting to get a little translucent here. Or I can add some more water. This is how you make your mists if you want your mists. And you want to use 100% mica. A little bit of gum arabic, a little bit of water. In a mister, your mica. And away you go. Now I still have this left. I then have the opportunity to add in more gum arabic and more mica. You're going to do less mica to your gum arabic. The mica goes a long way because it is so highly pigmented. And I can start to thicken it back up. Totally different because you have the power in your hands. When you have the gum arabic, you decide what it is you want. It's not predetermined for you because it's not pre-mixed for you. And I could just keep getting it thicker and thicker and thicker, and now I have much more of a thicker paste than a paint. And I'm back to more of an opaque look as opposed to a translucent, which is up here. And can you see the shine and the sheen that you get with the gum arabic? It's beautiful. It's a little different than what you get with a typical mica. And the less gum arabic I have, I've put much more water in here, the less of that sheen that I have. But you see it's not moving, it's not coming off. If I had taken just my mica and mixed it with just some water and put it down on my paper, it would then wipe off because there's nothing binding it. This is 100% pigment. So gum arabic, nice thing to have if you're using a higher end mica powder, which is what these are. Look at the sheen. I mean, that's beautiful. It's really, really beautiful. And you determine what you want it to be. It's up to you. So it's very much like a fine tech paint in that you are able to watercolor with it because you are able to get it as fine, you know, as thin as you want just by adding that water, or as thick as you want. This is more of a fine art medium, except for fine art medium just talks about the quality of the product, not the talent of the person. Whenever you're using something that is a fine art medium, that usually means the pigment base is higher, the light fast is more, and you go. Let me do one more in another color. Let me wash this out. So will you be able to do everything I'm doing today with your Perfect Pearls and Couture Creations and Creative Expressions? Yes, absolutely. This is just another option if you want to have a little more control and a little more say over what you're doing. So let's take the gold. And let me bring over, maybe we'll do it on white paper this time. Let's take a little bit of my gum arabic. And gum arabic is relatively inexpensive. We're not gonna, it comes in the set with 3 little pots in the calligraphy set, but we're gonna sell it in a bigger jar for you because it really is relatively inexpensive. And what it allows you to do is to use less pigment to get the same effect. When the jars are already pre-formulated, you need to just add your water to get your paste, you know, to make it a thicker paste or a thinner paste. But you're having to add more and more in because the binder is already in there. Here, oh darn it, I wanted to use a different color. I wanted to use a different color, okay. Shh, don't look. You're like, no, she did not just do that. Yes, she actually did. Shh, no judgment. Like, I can't believe she just threw that away. I wanted to use a different color. I wanted to use the gold. Okay, so, like it never happened. A little bit of gum arabic. It's pretty much to your liking. You're always going to use a little more gum arabic, a little bit of water. You're going to make your glue. So if I was putting this in a mini mister, I'd put a little gum arabic in the mini mister and then a little bit of water in the mini mister. Shake it up really good, get it all dissolved. Maybe a little more water. So to me, less is more because I can always add more and I don't want to waste, even though you saw me just throw that away. Shh. And let's add some gold. Pure pigment, no binder. Amazing. So the colors are going to be more intense. They're going to be more vivid. Even as you dilute them, they're going to be more vivid than what you would get from a diluted pot of pre-mixed mica with a binder. Okay. And let's see what we've got. So super pretty coverage. And that sheen, because the more gum arabic you use, the more shine you're going to be left with. But let's dilute just a little bit of water. And obviously now my paint's going further because it's thinner. And it's a little more translucent. Then I can add more water. And get it even a little more translucent. So it's all up to you what you want to do. Or I could add in more gum arabic, remix, and thicken it up a little bit. But my color hasn't changed. That pigment level is so high. fact, I think I'm even going to use maybe just a little bit more. And it's cheaper. It's much cheaper to use the gum arabic than to keep adding more and more pigment. So this is one way of using Pearl-Ex. This is the second way. The first way I used it with just a glue pad, and that's going to work just as well because that glue pad is acting as the binder. Now look at it, it's like not running at all. It's completely a thicker paste. It's so pretty. But I could get it down as thin as I want. I could get it to a watercolor consistency and paint with it with a watercolor consistency. So kind of like a fine tech. Highly pigmented, versatile, but this has a glaze and a shine that just, it's lovely. All right, so there I used 2 colors. So the first thing I did is I just used it with some glue, a glue pad, Essentials glue pad, easy peasy. Didn't have to use the gum arabic at all. Second one I did, I used the gum arabic to thicken it and to activate that binder in the gum arabic so that it does not wipe off. You don't have to spritz it with anything, and you can see the beautiful sheen. The more the gum arabic, the more beautiful the sheen. Now we're going to go into another way of using it. Let me wipe this out just in case. You're like, oh, but we could have used that for something. I know, but I only have one little pot. I only have one little, I gotta go get some, I need to go have lunch over at Baja Fresh. Put my lids on. Now we're gonna play with the stencils. And then we will get back to our Pearl-Ex. But I need to start with the stencils. And I think I'm gonna start with this one first. Yeah, I'm gonna start with this one first. So this is the stairwell, the staircase. And it is 3 stencils that make up the layering stencil, the layering design. 1, 2, 3. So it's almost as much of a mask as it is a stencil. And on these stencils, you've got little arrows that tell you up. There's a little arrow that'll tell you up and a little arrow that will tell you over. And that tells you what direction to place them in every time. And I think I'm going to start with this one. So I'm going to be working on white paper. And because these are as much of a mask as they are a stencil, there's really no right and wrong way to layer them. 1, 2, 3. Well, there's no right and no wrong. All right, let's tape it down. So I've got some washi tape and I put tabs all over my stencils to make it easy to tape them down. I currently do not have plans to put holes in them yet. I don't know. I'm thinking, I'm deciding. So I put the tabs there to help you tape them down. And I always put a piece of washi at the top. Let me go back just a little at the top and one at the bottom. And then on the diagonal. So I always leave 2 tabs with no washi tape on them at all. And usually they're on the diagonal. So here I've got it here and there where there's no washi tape. And there's a reason why I do that. Now I'm going to go with some pretty unusual colors. Well, maybe we'll just do this twice. Yeah, maybe we'll do it twice. So maybe I'll do side by side and make it go fast. So do I have another one? I do have another one. And let's start here. And let's tape it down. So I'm going to do 2 of them at the same time. tape it down. And tape it down. And tape it down. All right, let's start here. So this one I'm going to do as if it was just in inks. I'm not going to do anything more to it, just as if it was in inks. And I just feel like, I don't know if I'm in, is that, okay, I'm hoping that that's right. So let's grab some inks. What color do I want my stairwell? Do I want it in red, blue, navy? How about we do a navy? And let's grab a blue blending brush. And I'm just going to do this in my navy. Now, I don't care that I'm going outside the stencil because that's going to get cut off anyway. And what I do want to make sure is that I put a little blue there and I put a little blue there, because those are going to act as my registration when I put my next stencil down. So I've got a little bit of navy going on here. And how about a soft blue for my window? I've got a little window there, so let's go with a very light. This is not light, but we're going to make it a little light. Let's go with a soft blue right there. And we're going to do some yellow, maybe like there's some sun coming through. So let me grab my yellow. Now, we use the Couture Creations blending brushes. I will tell you, I ordered some from somebody else where it's the whole body is colored in the color you would use of the ink, so yellow or pink or blue. And because I wanted to see how they were different than Aussie Andrews. They're a lot different, I have to say. Aussie Andrews are, well, they're not in the color of the ink that you're going to use. These blending brushes are much better in quality. I tried. I wanted to see if I would like them, if I was missing out on something by not having the ones that are colored in the handles colored in the ink you're supposed to use. I'm just as happy putting my little hair bands around it to tell me what color to use than to skimp on the quality. These are a much better brush than the ones that I had brought in to sample. I bought 4 sets of them. I bought 4 sets just to see if I was, gonna like them, because, I don't want to buy a million of them and then decide we don't like them. But when they came in, I'm like, oh, I don't think so. But I'm glad I tried. I don't want to not have something if I'm missing out on something. But Aussie Andrew just did a beautiful job on these brushes, and they come with the little hats. And I like the little hats, the little caps that cover them. So I'm just adding a little bit of yellow over the top, just so it looks like there's some sun coming through. Not a lot. Okay, I think that's good. Stencil 1, done. Not a lot to it. Let's lift it. And let's move to our other stencil 1. And I'm going to come over here. I'm going to do the same thing. The only difference is I'm going to use different colors. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll, well, okay. No, I'm going to do the same. So blue, blue. We'll do apples to apples. So when I'm done, you'll be able to see the comparison, the contrast and comparison. If I do them exactly the same, you'll be able to see the difference. So blue, blue. Get my tabs so I know where my registration lines are. and then soft blue on that window. So I tapped off almost everything. I took a blue that is that dark and used it with a blue here just to get a soft blue in there. And then my yellow. Put my blue lid back on. And then my yellow. So I've got a little, and I'm going to tap it off because I just want a little bit of yellow just on the corner. Just want it to look like there's a little sun coming in. Okay, I think that's good. All right, so now we are apples to apples, two of the same. Let's take it off. And let's move to our next stencil. So I've got 1 and 1. Now let's go 2 and 2. So I've got my stencil, my little arrow is pointed up, my little arrow is pointed out. I've got my little registration marks. So I can see, oh no, that's not, don't tape it down there, look it, you can see the tab, the paper. I need to move it over so that you shouldn't be able to see any of the blue coming through. This is as much of a mask as it is a stencil. So I'm going to hide all that blue on that stairwell. And now I'm going to tape it down. That looks good. So tape it down. Now I just moved it. Tape it down. And they just line up. Tape it down. And tape it down. And we will do the same here. That way we are apples to apples. Grab my washi tape, whatever tape you use. One. And the reason I added the tabs is because the very first stencil I made, I didn't have tabs on it. And it was so hard to tape down that I thought, okay, if I'm going to manufacture stencils, I'm going to do it the way I think they should be done. And the tabs just make life so much easier. They give you registration marks and they give you something for the tape to hold on to. All right, so now what color do we want the stairs to be? We did blue, so do we want them to be maybe in a red? Sure, how about we're going down the red carpet? So I've got my red and I've got my royal red. And let's do a light red. Dark red. Let's do a darker red. And I'm just going to come in here and stencil right on top. And the stencil is masking off all that blue that I did. And I want to just get a really nice saturated red. Oh, I tapped off right on that. Okay, that's a pretty saturated red. Let's do this one in red while I'm here. So I'm doing a wash, rinse, and repeat. That way when we are done, you'll be able to see apples to apples. And I'm just getting my color down. All right, that look good? Lots of color. All right. This stencil also has the panes for the window. So I'm gonna grab a gray because that's what I've got out here, and my black blending brush, and go in there and add the detail to my window. Now you're gonna see that on some of the samples, the girls actually covered up the window or didn't do the window at all. But I made it kind of an arched window just in case you were doing something for a bride and she's coming down from a church. I mean, there's just so many different ways of doing the stairwell and staircase. And again, I don't care if I go out because I'm just going to cut all that off. All right. Now the only other thing we have left to do in this stencil is the wall. And I don't know if I want my wall in red. So I've got an opening right here. And I don't know what color I want my wall. What color do I want my wall? Maybe I'll do a soft blue in the navy. So let's grab my blue. So I'm going to want to keep that wall kind of soft in color. Oh, fire truck. Now I could have just done it all in red. Totally up to me. In fact, I got a little red on there, but that's okay. I just want a soft wall. Super soft in color. Now we're only on stencil 2. Okay, soft color, done. Now it does look kind of like a hot mess, but let's take it off and see what we've got. Okay, you can totally see the staircase starting to come to life, right? But I have one last stencil to go. So right now we are a wash, rinse, and repeat. Matchy, matchy. Okay, last stencil. Adds the last little bit of detail. And I'm going to line it up. And again, it's going to mask off everything I've already done. If I've lined it up perfectly, you're not going to see the blue coming through. Let's scooch it a little. There you go. You're not going to see the blue or the red. All you're going to be filling in is the remainder of that white. So the thing about layering stencils, some of them are as much of a mask as they are a stencil. The masking element is as important because you don't want those colors to blend. And I can line it up with my registration. That looks pretty good. Okay, there. And there. And there. And there. And then my last one on this one. And then we will have made 2 identical stairs in the wrong direction. Always look for the arrow going up and the arrow going out. There, and there, and here. Okay. So now I'm going to come back with my blue because I've got the rest of the the rail to do. This is part of the railing. Just this one little line needs to be done in blue, and it needs to be done in a dark blue to match the other railing that I did. So I'm going to come in here, and I don't have to worry about my window because it's completely covered up. I can't accidentally get my blue in there because it's completely covered up. So cute. Okay, and then let's do my blue here. Nice and dark to match the stair rail on the other side. Okay, and then we'll do a light shade of red on the treads. So bring over my red again. I'm going to take most of it off. And I'm just going to do a really light red on the treads of my stairs. Are you starting to see it? Okay, and let's do a light on my tread. I don't know why I had to do a staircase, but I just did. I had to do a staircase. All right, so now when we take it off, can you see it? You've got your beautiful windy staircase. And we did 2 so that I would have apples to show you. Okay, but why do I want apples to show you? Well, because now we're going to play with the Pearl X. So I'm going to put one of these aside, and I'm going to bring back over my stencils. I need 1 and 3 because I'm going to do this banister in Pearl X. And I'm going to do it in a different way than what you've seen so far. So I'm going to line my stencil right back up so I show that blue again. No problem lining it up. No problem putting it down. And let's grab a piece of tape off of this one for here. All right, so I originally did it in blue, so we had apples to apples. Now I'm going to take that and I'm going to cover that all blue up. I'm going to just hide it. And I'm going to do it with the Pearl X. So far I've shown you that you can take the Pearl X and you can mix it with some gum arabic and you can make a paste out of it, or you can make a watercolor out of it, just depending on how much gum arabic you use and how much water you use. The idea is that the gum arabic allows you to use less pigment. If I were going to take a mica that's already has the binder built into it, I would be adding more and more and more of the color because I need that binder too to make more and more of a paste. But with the gum arabic, you use less of the pigment, being that it's 100% pigment, and the gum arabic is so inexpensive. But now I want to stencil with it. So I need the viscosity of the medium that I'm going to use to be a nice thick and heavy. I'd have to use a lot of gum arabic to get it to where I want it to go so that it doesn't whoosh underneath my stencil. I mean, you know, if I added anything with a lot of water, it would just whoosh underneath and make a mess. And I need that paste to be thick, but I don't want to use so much gum arabic and so much of my powder to get it where it needs to go. What do I have that is a thicker medium, that is easily found everywhere, that I can use, that will mix with my pigment, my mica, keep the intensity of the mica, dry really, really, really quick, and will not whoosh underneath. Okay, so what is this? This is from Crafter's Companion. It's called Glossy Highlight. What is it? For all intents and purposes, it's a glue. Yes, it's a glue that is very much like a glossy accents or a crystal effects, or I mean, lots of manufacturers make it. It is just people use this as a glue and nothing else. That's all they use it for, is a glue. It's got a thicker So it's thick. Unlike and it dries transparent, dries clear. So again, you may already have something like this. Hero Arts makes one, lots of people make one. This one is by Crafter's Companion, and we were able to negotiate a really great deal on a duo pack. Yay. So I'm going to use this as my binder for my Pearl X because it's going to allow me to use less pigment. I don't want to use a lot of the pigment. It lets me use less pigment because this is 100% mica, 100% pigment, and it still gives me the thickness that I need. And it dries so fast. And if you have, depending on how thick you use it, yeah, it definitely dries with a glaze. There's no question about it. So that's kind of what I'm making with this, is almost a glaze out of it. Could you mix it with a stenciling medium like a mousse or a paste? Sure, you can mix this with anything, and then you take your palette knife and go across. Absolutely. I'm trying to find things that you may already have in your crafty stash. Couldn't you do this with your Creative Expressions mica, or your Perfect Pearl mica, or your Aussie Andrew Couture Creations mica? Yes, you can do this. So if you've got a glaze or a glossy type of product already, and you've got a mica type of product already, yes, you can marry them together. Absolutely. And if you don't, of course we have them for sale, but if you do, this is another way to use them. Mica powders have been around since the beginning of crafting, honestly, they have. And I mean, it was one of the first things I ever saw demoed at a show. And I know so many people who have them in their stash and yet don't use them because they just don't know what to do with them anymore. Here's a whole nother way of using it. So I am going to grab a foam. I've got my brush. This one is, or my blending tool. This is from Woodware. And again, we don't carry Ranger, sorry, but we do carry Woodware. And these are at a phenomenal price. I want to say they're like $6 for the two, and you get two of the foams, but then they also have the additional foams. So we try to support companies that support small independent retailers. So we carry the Woodware brand, and I'm going to take a little bit of my gloss, and I think we'll do it in gold. So I'm going to move my red over here, a little bit of my gloss right onto my craft mat. Now you can always add more, and I might need to add more. I don't know, we'll have to see. A little bit of gloss and a little bit of my mica. And I'm going to blend. I'm just going to make it into a paste. But it's a paste with a very nice viscosity. I'm just going to make it into a paste. If I need a little bit more of my glossy, I can add it. I don't want it too runny. I want to incorporate all that mica in. And then I've got a ton of it on my brush, on the back of my brush, so I'm just going to put that right on. And now I'm going to go in and I'm going to dab it right on top of my blue. So I'm dabbing. I'm going to pick it all up. Now I think that I have enough. But if I'm worried, I could throw just a hair bit of water, just a little bit of water, a little more accent down. And I still have so much mica in here that I can continue to dab. That glossy accent is your binder. Now I'm not going to do the window. Let's take off and see what we've got. So now I've got gold going up. And it's dry. You're like, wait, what? It's dry. I don't know. Their glossy highlights dries super fast. I don't have to wait to continue on. I'm good to go. I missed a little right there. I have a little right there. Do I dare? All right, so I'm going to make my next little glaze because I have to do this part of the stair rail, right? So let's make a little bit more of my glaze, and I think I'm going to go back in there. I just missed a little piece. So a little bit of glossy and a little bit of mica. And that's kind of like you're making pasta. You put your glossy down like your flour, and then you put your eggs in the middle. Now, let's be clear. I have never made pasta, but I've watched enough cooking shows. I love watching cooking shows. I just don't want to cook. So a nice glaze. Because if I used too much water, it would run through. And with the pots that are pre-done with the binder in them, you have to add so much from the pot to get it to this kind of a consistency. And then the color isn't as intense. Let's bring over my, I'm not going to waste any of it. See if I can line myself back up, sort of, kind of. And I just missed that one area. Okay, done. Now I can bring this one back and over the top. So the reason why I did it in blue down first on my banister, I didn't have to. I could have just put my my mica down, but I wanted to be able to show you apples to apples. I think that's good. And let's go in here and grab and spounce.
and spounce. I'm a little off, but not bad. You can see a little blue underneath. I could go back. Let's see if I can get rid of that little bit of blue right there. I just see a little bit of blue right there. What if I just go up? Let's line it on up. I don't know if I'll be able to get it or not. Good enough. Okay. So now, again, dry. Not smearing. You don't have to wait. I still have on my sponge, so I could, if I wanted to, get my sponge wet and go back in. Well, I don't want to get that sponge wet, but I could go back. I could pick all of this up. See this here on my, I could go in and pick all of that up, just add a little bit of water. Pick it up and sponge on something else. That's how much pigment you get in those little tubs. It's amazing. That's just putting some water on here and going. You can make a whole sheet of the extra and then save it to die cut later. All right, let's cut this out because I want you to see the apples to apples. So here's the first one where we didn't add the extra detail. Trash, trash, trash. Well, I'll cut it the same. And here's the second one where we changed the banister from blue to gold. And again, you don't have to start with the blue. I just did it so that when we were done, you knew I started with exactly the same image. Your choice. You have options. This makes this into a beautiful glaze. So pretty. And it dries almost instantaneous. I mean, it dries so quick. No sitting there waiting. No, no, no. And you've got that beautiful accent color to it. Okay, let's go on to the other stencil, which is more of a background stencil. And I think I'm gonna do the same. I'm gonna do apples to apples. So I'm gonna do two of them exactly the same so that you can see the difference. Let's put my pot on. So these little pots really do go a long way. And I said that because we want to be able to expedite these orders out, we're going to carry them in sets. So we've got 4 different sets for you, but then we will bring them in open stock. You shouldn't, so here's per like set number 1. And these are the colors. And this will all be online for you. So you get 12 pots. This is their series 1. If you buy this and you end up using this duo blue, gosh, this duo is dynamite down at the bottom, and you need to just order that one, yeah, we'll have that one for you. But to get these orders expedited out, it's better that we do them in the bundles for now, and then once the YouTube is over, we'll load all the open stock. That way downstairs has a fighting chance of getting them out. Okay, so let's see. So I've got my next one, which is a background, 3. And on this one, of course, you can just use them. You can use 1 and 2. You can use 2 and 3. You can decide how many of the stencils you want to use, or if you want to use all of them. And again, there's no right and there's no wrong for how you layer them, because it's a mask on top of a stencil. So I'm going to do this one last. So I'm going to do this one first. So let's grab another one. So I have apples to apples. So there's that. And this is that one. This is that one. And there's that. Okay, let me tape these on down. And we're just going to do these really quick. And I think I'm going to do these in Christmas colors. Why not, right? Maybe I should do them, maybe I won't do them apples to apples. Decisions. One, 2, 3, 4, and 1. Okay, so let's do them in, well, maybe I'll just do this one in Christmas colors. Christmas colors? Red and greens? But I have this one to play with. Okay, let's do red and greens. We'll start with that. That's how you know there's no editing. Because I never know exactly what I'm going to do until I do it. All right, so I'm starting with pale tomato. And let's go in here and just add some color. Some of them are going to be a little bit lighter. Some of them are going to be a little bit darker. And that's what I'm going for. I don't want it to all be a flat color. That way your eye has depth perception to draw in on. So some I'm going to add a little darker, some of them I'm going to keep a little lighter. If everything is the exact same color all the way through, your eye really has nothing to focus in on, nothing to draw in on. So if you add a little darker and a little lighter in some areas, you're giving your eye some interest, something to say, ooh. All right, so let's move on to this one. We're gonna blow through these really quick. And just with my blending brush, and again, some a little darker, some a little lighter, some a little darker on certain edges and lighter. Just trying to give it some perception, some interest, some eye candy. Okay, done. Easy peasy, layer one's done. Let's pull. And let's go to layer two. Okay, so layer two is going to do the same thing. It's going to mask everything I just did on layer one. So you shouldn't be able to see any of the red coming through. None of it. If you can see red like that, no, you're not lined up properly. Just line them right back up over to your registration marks, your registration tabs. Remember, you've got them down here and you've got them up there. Line it right up. And all of a sudden, that red is masked off. One, two, three, and four. Okay, and we'll do the same here. And let's get our second stencil. Arrows up, arrows out. There's an arrow up and an arrow out. Line it up, covers up all my red. Yay. And down I go. And this one we're going to do in a green because we'll do this one kind of Christmassy. Ooh, and then maybe I'll do a guy one like this. I think I will do a guy one. Okay, now let's grab our green. Wash, rinse, and repeat. I want to get my green in there. I'm not going to worry about highs and lows. That's what I'm looking for. I just want to get all of it covered in green. All right, this one's just about done. Look good to you? Looks good to me. All right, scooch over and wash, rinse, and repeat. Ooh, I got that one really dark. I like the really dark. And we are about done. Good. Done. 2 layers. Finished. Bing, bang, boom. And now on my third layer, I'll grab some new washi tape, and that's where I'm going to put my Pearl-Ex. So on one of them, I'll do Pearl-Ex, and on one of them, I'll do a different shade of red, maybe. So I'm going to line it up, and now it's going to cover all the green and all the red that I've done. And I think I'm going to do this one in a darker shade of red, and I'm going to do that one in a Pearl-Ex. And then you get the option of deciding what you want to do with yours. Sometimes adding just that little touch of metallic is all something needs. Sometimes you don't want any metallic on it at all. But isn't it nice to know you have oodles of options? Could I do this with a pigment-based ink? Yes, I could come in and I could ink it with a pigment-based ink, absolutely. It will take it a little bit longer to dry, but absolutely no problem to get it done. I'm thinking though, you may already have some type of a mica powder in your crafty stash is my thought. And if we can show you that just by adding a little bit of a medium that's not necessarily a mousse where you're going to palette it, because I know lots of you don't want to do that, but you can bounce it and still get that metallic look to it. Hopefully it takes something that you've owned for a while and breathes new life into it. And if you've never seen mica powders before, well, absolutely, now we have the Pearl-Ex for you as well. And they are just a very highly pigmented product. And if all you want to do is stamp with it with a glue pad and put that Pearl-Ex over the top, just like I did on my sentiments, you could do it with any stamp. It doesn't have to be sentiments. Oh no. You could stamp florals and just go in there and dust it over the top and make those florals come to life on black paper. Wonderful. Okay, so let's say I do a little bit deeper red. How about red royal on this one? I don't know if it's deep enough red to make a difference, but we'll see. I'm going to get it as dark as I can so that it's a contrast against my other red. I'm going to get it as dark as I can. All right. So I'm going to leave that for there for right now. I had a thought while I was doing it. We'll have to see. Now I've got this one, and instead of adding the red, I'm going to add, and I'm going to use the gold again. I'm going to add my Pearl-Ex. So I'm going to wash, rinse, and repeat. I'm going to put my little, I don't want any red in there, put my little mound of glossy highlights is what Crafter's Companion's calling it. I know, like I said, Ranger has their own. Oh, little thingy on the top. Ranger has their own. Hero Arts has their own. I know lots of people have it. Oh, Stacy, I shouldn't have left it open. Ooh, too much, too much, too much. Oh, that's a lot. Okay, let's just separate it and put some over. Maybe I'll use that in a minute. Too much, too much, too much. And then let's grab that gold and my paintbrush because I like the backing of it. And mix my gold just like you were making pasta. Mix, mix, mix. If you need it a little thinner, you add a little bit of more of your glossy highlights. Get all that mica in there. I've got my spouncer here ready to go. Oh, I do. I'm going to grab a little bit of that glossy. Maybe I didn't have too much. Okay, all nice and mixed in. Take my extra. I'm going to put it right there because I'm not willing to waste that. Come in. And then spounce. So this is taking something that's old and trying to make it new again in a way that you might not have thought you could use it. Well, it turns out it wasn't too much. I'm going to have to make a little more. I should have left all that glossy in there and just gone with it. Okay, I'm gonna have to make a little bit more because I didn't have too much. And you can see, I mean, so I've used this powder again and again and again and again, and I've barely used any of it. The jar may look small, but what's in it is mighty. And if you're using it with the glue pad and just stamping, you use even less. Now I've got plenty, and I'm spouncing. I'm not rubbing. Now, everything we're using today is water soluble. So you're going to be able to wash this off. Okay, it kind of looks like a hot mess. Let's do this one first. So the two reds did make a difference, but I have a thought on this one. I'm going to leave that one done up, and then let's see how we did on this one. Oh, I just got my finger in it. What do you think? And if I'm right, it's dry. I mean, that's pretty rock star that it dries that fast and it doesn't smear, because the Glossy Highlight is the binder for this. But then I was thinking on this one, what if I took, and I'm going to change my pad because I don't want it to be that color. What if I took, there's this shimmer one in this one. Is this it? This is a shimmery one. Pearl white. I don't know, we could destroy this. I might just take it too far. Is there such a thing? Absolutely, there's such a thing. I might just take it too far. I'm not gonna get rid of this because I might use that later. So I'm gonna make another little pile here. And I'm gonna add in some of that pearly white, because I'm not ready to get rid of this. This is still good. It's drying, but all I have to do is wet it to use it. I'm not willing to let it go. That looks like the gum arabic. Hold on just a moment. Pearly white. Ooh, shimmer, shimmer. What if I do a little bit of this and mix it in? Do you have to do it on your craft mat? No, you could get a little cup if you wanted. Can you mix it with the gum arabic and water? You can. What if I just did a little bit of this? Just kind of over the top of that red. Give it kind of a wintry look. Not too much because I don't want to hide the red. And if I put too much on, it will literally cover the red up. I just want a little bit of a shimmery look to it. But not too much. So I'm using very little. Maybe a little winter kiss. Maybe just a little winter kiss. Little winter kiss. So now I've just added a little bit of sparkle, a little bit of shine. I didn't cover the red in its entirety. I just added a little bit of winter kiss to it. Or the gold. Let's cut them out. I'm not going to get rid of that because I might use it later. Let's cut them out. And they're already dry. Takes almost no time for that glossy highlight. I don't know how long it takes for glossy accents to dry, but this is super fast. And just a little bit of sparkle and a little bit of shine. And it's done. And this one I cut the border off of it. You can choose whether to leave that white border all the way around or cut it off. But now I have two. And it was easy to do. And that coverage is amazing. And with the glossy, it dries so fast. So what if I do one maybe in boy colors? I'm going to hold on to these two because I don't know if I'm going to use them yet. Let's start with that one. And put it down. And put it down. Oh, no, we'll go here. And here. Nope. Up one. Oh, I hear something rolling in. And here. Okay, that's good. And let's start with maybe a gray. So where's my gray? Gray. And my black. And let's do kind of a guy looking one, yeah? Do I want a light and a dark gray and then the blue? Ooh, decisions. Do I want to keep this really, really light, uber light? It's almost a whisper of a gray. We painted our house that color once. It was called Whisper Gray, was the interior color of the house. Super light, easy gray. Almost like there's no color there at all because this gray is really much darker. But because you have the blending brushes, you can tone it down to what you want it to be, which is, again, very much a whisper of a color. All right, let's try it. The worst can happen is it's only paper and I come back and I go over the top of it if I want to. And then do we want to do a darker gray or do we want to do a green? Maybe we use the green. So for number 2, let's layer this on top. And it just fits right over the top, easy peasy. And washi tape. And maybe we go with a green. Is that what you all said? Did you all say green? How about that tide pool color? Gosh, I don't know where I'm going to use this yet. I think I'm a little off. Slide it just a little bit that way. And this one needs to go a little bit that way. I'm a little off. Stencil-wise, we're speaking. Okay, better. Okay, good. All right. So let's do a little bit of that tide pool maybe. Maybe that's a bluey green. Well, it is a bluey green. Let's see. Ooh, so pretty. Oh, something's definitely here. Can you hear that? Well, no, I don't know if I want to add my blue in there or not. But go over it with a little bit of emerald green and green it up a little bit more. So I'm just going right over the top of my other blue. I wanted it a little more green. Okay, a little more green. And pull it off. Oh, that's pretty. That's where we're at so far. We've got one more layer to go. And I am going to try that blue in the Pearl X. So let's layer this on top. Line it up with my registration marks so I can see right here and right there. And tape it down. One, two, three. Oh, and I just put my finger in that. And 4. So let's do the blue. And let's grab my Glossy. And I'll put it here. And then let's do my paintbrush and let's grab some of this blue and see what we get. And let's fold it into each other and make our paste or our glaze. It's more of a glaze than a paste. And let's make this a little more masculine. You know, I might want to add, I added a lot of, maybe a little bit more. Get all of that mica incorporated. A little mica goes a really long way. And then I need my brush, my blender with a new foam pad for my blue. And here's my foam pad for my gold, and it's still fine. I'm not going to throw that away. I'll just keep it and use it next time I use gold. And bounce my blue. And bounce it in there. Well, it looks like I had just the right amount. But if I didn't, all I have to do is add a little bit of water, shoop, a little bit more here, shoop, and come back in and kind of pick it up. And that's going to reactivate what is in my spouncer, what's in my blending. So I've got some highs and lows going on. Oh my gosh, that's so pretty. And then when you turn it, you've got the effect of the shimmer. But what if I brought back this one? This is stencil number 1 that I did the gray out of, because I still have that shiny. What if I brought back the gray? I kept it super light. And change my spouncer. And kind of miss just a little bit and a little bit. And remix. Just a little bit more water. Reactivate it. How long had it been sitting there, right? And what if I just take a little bit of this and put a little bit of this just kind of on top of my gray? Kind of here and there and everywhere. Just so that gray has a little shimmer to it as well. And that way I use this up. Oh, I missed one. Okay. So now my blue and my gray are shimmering, but I didn't change the color of that gray because I kept it so light. I used the extra. I wasn't gonna let it go to waste. I still have that gold. I know it's killing me, but I've got that gray with a little bit of shimmer. Do we dare throw the gold on top of the green? Oh, no guts, no glory. Oh, that was this. Is it this one? Where's my green one? Okay, up. No, that's not it. Oh. Up. Here it is. Okay, so I put my green one back. Beauty of layering stencils. Layer it right back on top. Put my gold back on. I don't know if this is gonna work. No guts, no glory. Water. Water. Highlight. Or glossy highlight. Highlight. Can I get any of it up? Well, I might have taken it in a barrel over the edge of the waterfall. All right, well, it's only white paper, and it might be too loose. You think? No, stop. Let it be. Let it be. Oh, it does have some of the gold. Look at that. Holy smokes. But it didn't get rid of the green. It's on so light. Okay, yay. So I don't want you to think that you have to run out and buy Pearl X. You don't. If you love, love, love your Ranger or your Creative Expressions or your Ozzy Andrew, and I love Ozzy Andrews, but he only has 11 colors. I need more than 11 colors, Ozzy Andrew. Oh my gosh, I love it. Now everything's got a little bit of a shimmer and a sheen to it. Okay, but Pearl X is a dream because Asher has given you so much mica and has given you the opportunity to decide what binder you want to use to make it work. So water soluble, coming right off my craft mat. Easy peasy. He's given you a way to do it, whether you just want to use the glue essentials, the essentials glue pad here, and I could have stamped anything. I could have taken beautiful florals with the essentials glue pad, stamped down my floral with the glue and gone in and put my Pearl X over the top. Absolutely. There's one way of doing it. I can add my gum arabic and look at, I mean, the difference, the benefit of the gum arabic is really that beautiful sheen and that shine that you get. You're not going to get that with the Ranger or the Aussie Couture Creations or the Creative Expressions, because their binder's already built in. You're going to use it, and if you use it with a Versamark, you're going to spritz it with water, or if you use it with an Essentials glue pad, you're going to get what you see is what you get. If you want that beautiful, beautiful glisten and glow, I mean, it's just shiny, it's just beautiful, then you're going to use the gum arabic, and you're going to make a paste like I did. Easy to do. I could have done the same thing. Or if you want to be quick and fast and easy and you want it to dry now, you can use a glossy highlight. Whichever company makes your heart happy. And you blend this in, and because this has got so much pigment, it doesn't get diluted down. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. So we started way back here when we did apples to apples, and we did both of these exactly the same. But then I changed. I went over the blue. This is the gold right over the top of the blue. And you saw how fast it dried. By the time I pulled up the stencils, it was dry. And then we played in Christmas colors, and these were apples to apples kind of, and then I did a dark red, but then I wanted to use that extra shimmer that was still down on my craft mat, and this one I did in the gold. And again, the minute I was done, it was dry. There's nothing to wait for. You don't have to put it aside and come back to it later. And then I thought I'd just play with maybe the blues and the greens and the grays, and I picked up what was remaining on my craft mat to add a little bit of sparkle and shine to this one. Yet it's not over the top. This could absolutely be for a masculine card, because that shimmer is not shimmer. It's not glitter. It's a little bit of a sheen because I used what was left on my mat. This is definitely more holiday. The gold is very strong. It's very pronounced. It's there. You know it's there. This, you see it when it moves and it kind of winks because it was what was left. The gold is very pronounced. It's very there. So you decide what works best for you, and you decide if the product that you already have in your hands is going to be the product that you want to use. I love Pearl X. If I had had the opportunity to buy Pearl X years ago, I would have, without question. I went to them and said, I want this product, because I knew how special it was. But at the time, it wasn't going to happen. You know, things happen. It is the way it is. But if I could have, I would have had Pearl X here in the store years ago. Absolutely. When we were saying goodbye to Ranger, this was the product I wanted to replace it, because it is amazing. It really is. And there's so much more that can be done with it. Pearl X will go in clay. It will go on wood. It will go on glass. It will go... It really is an all-purpose product because of the intensity of the pigment. So you decide what works for you. Use what you have. Pick up some of this if you love it. Wait. Use your glossies that you have at home. Pick up this because I got you covered. Kimberly, she got us covered on this one. She got us the 2-pack for a great deal. I mean, really a great deal. And again, if you're going to use the powders you have at home, just know you're going to have to use more powder to make what I did happen today, because it's not as highly pigmented, because it's already mixed, cut in with the binder. You choose, you have options. If this gave you a new way to look at your mica powders, then that makes my heart happy. That's the most important thing. I know the manufacturer's like, wait. No. It's about the using. It's not always about the buying, it's about the using. So, all right, I have I'm going to show you what's on sale, and then I have samples for you. Are you ready?
Okay, and I'm sorry, I have to tilt up when I talk to you. I know it's weird for me to go up and down, but I have to look at you. I have to look at you when I talk to you. All right, so let me show you what's on sale. I do not have a lot of samples in stock to show you, or a lot of product in stock to show you. So we're gonna do the blending brushes because you're gonna need them. So these are from Woodware, and we'll do the blending brushes on sale. We'll do obviously the 2-pack of the Crafter's Companion Glossy Highlights is on sale. We'll do the glue essentials. Gosh, if you don't have one of these, you need one of these. Even if you don't use it for this, this is an important little tool. That'll be on sale. We will put on sale, of course, the 2 stencils. So these will be on I Want It All, where you get both of them, or you can buy them open stock. So either my fragments or the staircase. And then the stamp set, of course, is going to be on sale because I did the stamp set to go with the staircase. And again, the sentiments are you don't have to see the whole staircase, just take the first step, and that's by Martin Luther King. Take small steps each day. You might not get there today, but you'll be closer than yesterday. Step by step and stair by stair, be patient and believe before long you'll be there. And every journey begins with a single step. So there's my exclusive verses set for this month. So all of these here are exclusive to Scrapbooking Made Simple, and we're going to be the only place you find them. We'll put the blending brush on sale just in case you don't have blending brushes like I used. I'm not going to do the Hero Arts inks this week because we want to be able to get things expedited out to you. I've got the set that I was using today is the metallic calligraphy set. It comes with 9 colors and 3 of the gum arabics. But then we're also going to be selling the gum arabics in a much bigger pot. It's a 1-ounce pot. So it's substantially more, and it's really inexpensive, the gum arabic, really inexpensive. So our set 1 has 12 colors. Woo. And the colors will be listed for you. We made little samples. Then you have series 2. And again, different colors. There is only one color that I believe repeats between the 3 series, and that is one of the golds. And then last but not least, series 3. And these are going to start, and see, like this one is, this one's yummy. Oh my gosh. I mean, and this one, they're all beautiful. It was hard for me to pick. So we decided to start with the first 36, and we'll slowly bring the rest of them in. So these will be on sale. And if you do the I Want It All, we have done a nice deep discount. So you can buy 1 pack or you can buy all 3. And I think we've done 30% off if you do all 3 is what I think we did. So that way, and his pricing is amazing. It's amazing. So, all right, that is what's on sale this week. Let's get to samples. So I showed you this one in the beginning. And then here. So pretty. And okay, are you ready to go? SMS Girl Renee did this one. She fussy cut out the witch. The stairs look amazing. The background looks amazing. This is amazing. And look at this, all on pattern paper. All on pattern paper. And look at this. And you've got the sheen and the shine going on. So it's all about what you do with them. And I know the stairs are a little out of the box. I get that, but I've never seen another stencil like it, and I don't know that I'll ever see another stencil like it again.
but I don't want to do the same things over and over again. I want everything to be unique and different. And when the stencils are $10 for the 3-pack, $9.99, and it gives you an opportunity to do wedding, it gives you an opportunity to do inspirational, it gives you an opportunity to do Halloween. You could have Santa coming down the stairs. I mean, you just got options. And look at this. Is this not the cutest ever? And look at this. On top of pattern paper, a super light gray, almost like a watermark. Love these. And the thought is that they can be for girls, they can be for guys, they can be, I mean, this background pattern can be made cutesy or it can be made very, very sophisticated. And again, look at this. Soft colors, background paper, stamped image. Oh, and then one more set for you guys. So I showed you this one in the beginning, and she took the one stencil and she flipped it and she masked it and she lined it up. Pretty darn brilliant, honorary SMS girl Katie. Pretty darn brilliant. And then Claire made the card. I think this was my sample. I think they took this and made my sample. I did this one as a test run when the QC samples came in, and they took it and ran with it. Okay. See, it can be absolutely sophisticated and grown up, but at the same time, it can be beautiful and girly and fun, and the colors. Same stencil. This is the stencil background. Ooh, sorry. Stencil background. And then fussy cutting. Okay, overachiever. Fussy cut the stencil to cut the stairs out and the window out, and did an embossing of the back in a brick. Wow. And you've got your sentiment below, and they've just added a little something there. And then here's the background, cute and fun and colorful. Everything changes with paper and ink. Everything changes. And SMS guy, James, got out his colored pencils. He's been dying to use this die cut. This is ramen. It's a Spellbinders. He's been dying to use this, Nicole. Nicole from Spellbinders. My son James bought this set just for himself. He just had to have it. So he used colored pencils and try the special. He did his out of colored pencils because that is his choice to color with. For the ladies who don't like coloring, literally he took his colored pencils and just colored them in. I'll never forget that. Well, Mom, it's for the ladies who don't like to color. Okay, look at this. Holy smokes, artichokes. Is that beautiful? Again, done with the mica powder. Wow. Beautiful. Here, okay, here they masked out, so they used both stencils. So you've got the wall kind of as a mosaic, and then covered up the window with a picture. Used both stencils to get this done. And I love this one. This is so pretty. And then we are back to youthful. and cute and bright and happy. And then inspired. And our last one was done, I think, by Patty. And she did it and she die cut it out. Ooh. All right, you guys. Well, that was today's class. I don't think it's too often you hear a store owner saying, I'm not here to sell you anything, but I'm really not. I'm here to teach you something. And if you learn something and you stay creative, then that keeps us all going. That's the point of these classes, is to show you maybe something you didn't know, remind you of something you did know, make you feel adventurous, like you can do anything, because everything I did here today, you can do too. And if you happen to love the products, that's great, yay. And if you happen to own the products, that's even better. And now you know we have Pearl-Ex, and I'm thrilled. We're starting with the sets through this YouTube so we can expedite ship. It would just be too hard to have all of that open stock and trying to pull one. Remember, the retail store handles all the expediting. So we're also handling the phones and the customers, and the retail customers and the shipments that come in. So once the YouTube is over, we will go ahead and put them all in as open stock. You won't get the sale price, but you'll be able to order just onesies if you want. I really appreciate your understanding on that. Yes, that's what we're going to do. Yes, I'm thinking, yes, no, I'm not changing my mind. Elena would kill me. All right, you guys, it's me, Stacy, Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com. If you have a local retailer, go shop them. I'm sure they've got some kind of a glossy something or other. They probably have blending brushes and the Essentials glue pad. So if you can find a local retailer by you, a mom and pop shop, go introduce yourself, tell them that you can't wait to start crafting and that you are excited they are there and that Stacy sent you. All right, you guys, I'll talk to you later. See you next week. Bye. Stacy, Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com. Bye.